But let's bring him in right now. Nathaniel Lowe, the World Series winner, joining us right now to finish up his offseason. Nathaniel, what's up, dude? Are you still smiling? You should be, right?
Look at that smile.
Why wouldn't you, Why wouldn't you? You're world champ.
True. We've also had a good run of mustaches the last few or 4 days. Look at that thing.
Oh, good deal.
Fantastic.
Yeah. See if I get it in the light and show it to you. I don't know. Is that grainy or can you see it?
No, we got it. It looks great. All right, dude. So first off, I mean, we haven't spoken to you since I don't think we haven't had you on this show. And of course, we haven't spoken to you since you officially won a World Series title. So take us through what that's been like over the last few months from boom, last out, partying, enjoying things, probably doing some meet and greets and the whole deal. What's this been like?
Some meet and greets. No, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. Yeah, I don't know. It was such a blur. And then now at this point here, where like I'm getting my rental house packed up and I'm getting back to Texas for a couple of days before I go back out to camp. Like it feels like I just unpacked all my stuff like 3 weeks ago here. It's crazy how fast the winter's gone, but like, I mean, people are just so happy. The reception's been amazing. Like whenever I go back to Texas and hang out there or work out or what have you, people are just genuinely so happy. And you get stopped everywhere. And I would have never thought that I'd be in a position like that, but people are happy at the grocery store. Like I'm walking my dog down the street and they're stopping me saying hi. It's been a really special experience. And everybody around the DFW is just like genuinely happy.
That's good. All right. So I have 3 kind of rapid fires for you. 1, Nathaniel or Nate? Which one is it?
Nathaniel's official. Everyone calls me Nate.
So which one do you prefer us to call you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You make my mom happy by calling me Nathaniel, but everyone calls me Nate. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go Nathaniel.
We'll go Nathaniel. We always want to make mom happy. All right. Second of all, I see your dog in the background. Is that a husky? And what's her name?
Oh, my boy. It's a German Shepherd. Yeah, he's 6 months old. He's a baby. He's a trip, man.
Oh, okay. What is there? Do you have 2 dogs or just one?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's another one sitting over there in the corner. Yeah. So my girlfriend's starting a new job this week in Texas, so I'm double dog dad this week. So packing up the house, playing double dog dad has been great.
Oh, all right. And then third thing for me, I see your cowbell. I know you went to state. So talk to me because my daughter's going there next year to play volleyball. So
she's going to love it. She's going to love it. Yeah, Starkville was awesome. The people there like just love sports. They love the athletes. There's not a whole ton else to do in Mississippi, but the year that I spent in Starkville was amazing. I got to intertwine with some awesome players and have a really good experience for my development. So I really cherish that place.
Who was your coach there?
John Cohen.
It was John Cohen. That was my coach at Kentucky for about 2.5 semesters before he said I was no longer welcome on the team. And I got a good, but I got back on with walk-on tryouts the next year, and then
nice.
John Cohn repeated what he said the first time and said I'm off the team for a second time. So Starkville was one of the best times. We don't need to get into that stuff. Starkville was one of the best places to play, though. That's probably one of the best college baseball atmospheres you can get with. Do they still have all like the weird designs in the outfield of people sitting on top of trucks and the beach houses and all that?
So they've
they get rid of that?
They've modernized everything. I actually played, I don't know if it was my year or the next year was the last year that the left field lounge was all like, guys, like if you don't know what he's talking about, it is cinder blocks zip tied together with like a 2x4 and a lawn chair at the top of a piece of plywood. And there's just hundreds of them together out in the outfield, and they call them rigs, and they're on these wheels, and they set them up the week before the season. And I didn't really know what was going on until the very first game. You know tailgates and SEC and XYZ, but these people just tailgate for baseball and really love it. Like they're out there at noon for a 7:00 game and giving food away, giving food to other players. They're tossing beers over the thing here and there, and they're really out there to have a good time and enjoy it. So the left field lounge looks different now, but I mean it's still there, but it's not the same left field lounge that you remember.
Well, that's unfortunate because this was my freshman year at Kentucky when I played left field. So I was by all of it. They're grilling out there. Everyone has solo cups. I'm going to date myself with this story right now for you, where I think it was around the first year's Facebook came out. This is when You put your phone number on there. You put like everything, your contacts. I couldn't even remember if I put it out there, but I get there. It's probably the third inning. And they're like, hey, Kibness. They're like, is your number 8473? Like, and it just goes my whole cell phone number. And I'm just like, oh shit. And I put my head down, like I nod. And this is when you had people had phones like in their, you had them off or something. They're in your bags because you didn't leave them in the locker room or something. And they're like, go back and check it. And I go and run. I like kind of sneakily reach under to check the phone. And I have like 20 texts, maybe 17 missed calls and all that stuff. And I give them like a thumbs up from the dugout. They're cheering. And so I'm like, okay, I'll play along. I smile back at them. I catch the last out of the next inning. Then this one girl with that damn cowbell is like ringing in. She's like, woo, like just go camp, all this stuff. Catch the last out. I throw her the ball. Catch it. I start running back in. This ball comes firing right by my ear. And I see probably the boyfriend right next to her in a follow through. And I said, that's the last time I interact with that left field crowd. So,
yeah,
but I'm going to transfer. Yeah, it's wild.
Hold on, Kid. Hold on, Kid. Before you go to the next thing, I got to ask: do you own one of the condos in left field? Because now in left field, they literally have condos. They have like 20 condos in left field.
No, it's a good setup though. I'll tell you what. I got the whole tour. Coach Cohen actually took time to when he was the AD there, give me the whole tour of the new stadium, and I mean, I can't believe it's a college stadium. Like it's nicer than majority of AAA stadiums. It's amazing.
Because I think Dak has one. Dak has one up there. So I mean, I figured you're world champ. You've won more championships than Dak has. I mean, I figured it might be time for you to buy one of those condos.
No, I don't know what I'd do in Starkville, Mississippi. Now, it was great while I was in school, but no.
That's so great. John Cohen gave you a tour. He sounds like a nice guy. I'm gonna get away from baseball just for a second because I was going through your Instagram account. You are a little bit of a photographer, and I mean that as a compliment, and as someone who is if we can show some, you've taken some fantastic pictures, and as someone who's about to go on a long trip and trying to take pictures such as that, this can't be iPhone, is it?
No. Yeah, that golf shot, that's at Pelican Hill in LA. That's Drew Butera right there. Yeah, that was shot with a Sony. So I shot on Sony for a little while, and then I upgraded to the Leica. And it's not the camera, like they're all going to do something similar. I just wanted a point and shoot instead of having something that I would have to drag around with the big zoom to it. But yeah, since I've switched over to shooting Leica, I'd love to tell you that I do manual focus and mess with all the settings and all the stuff that the pros do. But honestly, the autofocus is so much smarter than me that I just hit the button when I see something I like, and it usually turns out pretty solid. But
so Leica's the way to go.
Yeah, Leicas are awesome.
Okay, you answered my question, and we apparently have the same eye where autofocus will work for both of us. So, but
yes,
keep going because those are some great pictures that you posted up there.
Thank you. Yeah, get to your Q3 and you'll love it.
Done.
Do you know who the famous former players are that are photogs?
I know Ken Griffey Jr.'s around. I know Randy Johnson's around.
Boom.
Howie Kendrick, I know he shoots Leica. There's a pretty good group of guys that are into that. So it's pretty cool. I
Griffey
really
used to do it. Griffey started because he didn't want to be bothered at his kids' game, so that's why he started.
No way.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, Randy Johnson just didn't like to talk to anybody, so that's why he did it. But Griffey
would sit in the seats and everyone's coming up to him.
Yeah, so he said, no, I'm going to go out in the outfield or on the field and take pictures, and that way nobody would put his headphones in and nobody would bother him.
Wow,
it was actually smart. If you're Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. Did he fall in love with doing it?
Yeah, now he loves it.
I can actually add to that story. When I bought my Sony, the guy at the camera shop downtown Orlando was like, "Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. comes in here and buys his cameras in here," and I was like, "All right, I'll save my breath and not try and tell you that I'm, a AA player and trying to make it one day to the pros and all that stuff." But yeah, so we stood in the same store.
Wait, did you play? You played at Disney?
No. I live in Orlando for the winter.
You do? Wait, what? You do?
Yeah.
Well, why are you not here then?
Studio AJ.
Are you guys in studio? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Scott? If you would have called David, like if Scott would have called David and looped him into there, we could have done this live. But you know what?
Who's David?
David Meter.
Oh,
my
you're a meter
God.
guy?
Yeah.
I didn't even put all the math
I'm a
together.
sports
Damn it.
Scott's sick. Scott has mucus in his head. So wait, okay, so now wait, when do you leave for spring training?
Sunday.
Oh shit! I was
Too
gonna say we
late.
could go play golf, but nope.
The good news is this show's not going
I'd
anywhere.
love to, but my truck got shipped out today, and yeah, and here's the worst part is that I'm definitely still trying to find some time to get out to the golf course, especially now that it's sunny. And my brother's like, yeah, these new T100 Titleist irons that I got, no shot. You can play with my old P790
Wait, what
launchers.
What area of Orlando? Just give me the area that do you live in?
Winter Garden.
What?
That's like right here.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. All right, so next offseason.
I am right up the road.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me these things, Scott?
Me? I'm not locked in on everybody's addresses and agencies. Next time. We got it all. This is why we do this. We do the connections right on the show.
Yeah.
Now
Next off season, you're screwed. We're gonna have you over here like twice a week.
I'm in. I would love to.
You're gonna be here more than Scott is. Thank God.
That's fine. You can take over today. You can host the rest of the show. All right, I got a couple Rangers.
Well, no, hold on. Now we're having Orlando talk. All right, Winter Garden.
yeah.
What's your favorite spot?
The Crooked Can.
I knew you'd say that.
I mean, yeah, I take the dog out there. We sit out there and have a pizza and have a pop or two, and yeah, it's a nice afternoon.
It is. Whole enchilada, the whole area down there is nice.
Yeah,
Scott's never been there. Scott's never been down there.
You don't know that.
No, we got to break him in.
You don't know my life.
He won't. He's a downtown guy though. He's a downtown. He wants the high rises and the foofy restaurants.
I come from New York City. I like the apartment
Lake
situation.
Eola. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a Lake
He
Eola
lives
guy.
right next to Lake Eola.
I bet he does.
Nice stroll.
He doesn't
on Lake
understand
Eola.
like how redneck Winter Garden is.
I don't
it's
know
great.
much about Winter Garden.
It's great.
My mom's coming this weekend. I can take her. Is that a good spot?
once you get out past me, like Claremont, Mineola, like man, I went to JUCO in Palatka.
Oh yeah.
You see some trucks with the Palatka lean going on, where you got the 6-inch kid on the front and 2.5 on the back, and it looks like they're crawling along the road like that. That's all over the place around here.
Such a Florida conversation.
I know. I'm going to take us out. Let's go to a Texas
dude, he
combo.
went from Palatka to Stark Vegas.
Yeah, we're getting
talk
deep.
about some trucks now.
Hey,
We're
I
getting
went to Mercer University in Macon, Georgia first. So
Ooh.
I saw some stuff.
I've seen some things. All right, back to Rangers. So
yes,
first off,
Rangers. Yeah.
Before the season started, were you like, hey, this team can win a World Series for real? Because obviously, I think the narrative around the Rangers was most people said, I really like what they're doing. It's a nice young core and more along the way. And you got some of the superstars that were signed to add to the table, right, over the last few years, like a Semien and a Seager to join you guys. And obviously, you were traded over from Tampa Bay. But did you feel like the team was 1 year away, or were you like, I actually think people are overlooking us?
I know. I remember trying to tell myself before spring training not to get ahead of myself because I expected that group to win. I really did. And, they spend $500 million on Corey and Marcus and then bring in John Gray. Martin Perez has a great year in 22. And then, got a couple other pieces that were starting to get heading in the right direction. And then to see when the front office committed to Jacob deGrom for 5 years, and then Evaldi and Heaney and all the guys that are in-house that wound up playing the roles they played. It was like, damn, we could actually do this thing. And nobody knows they're going to actually win the World Series until they're actually winning the World Series. But all you want is a chance to compete. And we had a group that really could compete. And I would be very surprised if we're not in a similar position coming down the stretch this year.
So is this team cornering the market on legendary starters? So you've got Max coming back again. Obviously, he was part of the team last year, but midseason, DeGrom's going to come back at some point. It looks like maybe July or August. Everyone's been talking about this could be the year Kershaw decides, all right, I'll spend some time with, Max and Jacob and the World Series champs. So what do you think?
I don't know. Are we going to live in a world where Clayton Kershaw is not a Dodger?
It's crazy to think, but he gets talked about every year.
Yeah, the hometown guy, the Highland Park legend coming back to pitch for the Rangers would be amazing. But I trust the guys we have in house too. I think that we're going to have some really really strong performances from some guys who might not have had the years that they wanted to have last year, and maybe might not be on the same level as Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. But we got really good pitchers that are looking for some success, and now that the group's comfortable, because you guys have been a part of winning teams before, the culture's so important, and we round up the guys that we round up, and we wound up with a really good group. It was easy to come to work.
Actually, it's funny. No, put AJ on here too, because I was just going to ask the question, and we're talking in the chat while we're talking to you. I wanted to ask about the same person. I was going to ask if he's real. I mean, we had him on the show, but for his thoughts on
Evan
Carter.
Yeah.
He has no idea how good he could be.
No idea. Go on.
No idea. Yeah, it's just like, his whole routine, he's not one of those guys that's doing like a ton of weight in the weight room, and he's not like, how you have some guys who just are anti-weights and do all the movements and kind of stuff too. Like, he sticks to his own plan, I feel like, and I've seen some of the stuff he does, and the kid's 21, and when I was 21, I was definitely in no spot to be able to contribute to a World Series run. So for him just to kind of roll in and then, be the contributor that he is and have the success that he had, like, that right there is just like, oh yeah, I gotta cut her in. I hit it to right. And all of a sudden it winds up going over the fence, and, we score some runs for the good guys in a postseason run. So it's cool that he's that simple. Because I guess it really keeps him like in a good headspace, but that dude can play, man. I'm really excited to see what he could do with a 162 game season. Sorry.
A good culture, that helps everything. That helps rookies who can come up, and if they're having so much fun that they're not stressed about their first game or the new day or whatever the challenge may be, that helps rookies really come out of their shell and kind of become the best version of themselves.
Yes. Oh, another piece on Evan too. In Cleveland, his locker was next to mine, and like the very first time that he used his ID, we were going to casino, right? Because the guys are hanging out, XYZ. And he looks at me the next day. He's like, "Dude, I got a problem." I'm like, "All right, Evan. Like, what's going on?" He's like, "These are my last sliders, and they have a hole in them. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do?" I'm like, "Dude, there's an equipment manager that gets his salary paid to make sure that you have your stuff. It's going to be okay." So yeah,
he'll take it out of your next check.
Dude, yeah, Brandon, tell Brandon and the boys they got to clean it up a little bit. Dude.
I know, right?
You got Evan Carter not having holes in his slider. You better tell Brandon to clean it up.
I'll get on him. Don't worry.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna text him right now and be like, "Man, you let Evan, your 3-hole hitter, have holes in his slider? You guys have changed over the years."
They're lucky sliders.
They do a good job.
Hey, Nathaniel, I got one more for you. Did the Rays mess up by trading you? Because they've made a lot of very shrewd moves over the years, and I'm looking back, it's been a few years now. None of the dudes that you got dealt for have made much noise yet, and you've made a lot of noise over the last few years. Usually the whole joke is Rays call, hang up. They know something, blah, blah, blah. I think they messed up.
I don't know, man. That's above my pay grade. I can't say one way or the other, but I'm always gonna err on the side of believing in what I'm doing. So I'm in Texas for a reason and enjoying the success that I'm having for a reason. And who's to say I would have had the same track if I stayed in Tampa? You see so many guys over there with the matchups and the platoons and all that kind of stuff. And maybe if your split isn't good enough on one side, then all of a sudden you're missing out on a couple hundred at-bats, 70 or 80 at-bats. And who's to say you can't pump 7 or 8 homers in those 70 or 80 at-bats, so all of a sudden your season changes dramatically. But no, I love where I'm at right now. I loved coming up through that system. Like, the people were so amazing. And now it's cool to see the internal hires getting brought up to the big league staff wise, and then the players that were kicking around in A-ball and short season while I was, in and out of the big leagues there, come up and really start having impact on the team. So they got a good thing going on over there, but I'm very happy where I'm at now.
I'm sure. You know why the Rays had to trade you, though? They had too many Lows. They
Yeah,
had you,
Low
they had your
Low
brother
was
Josh,
too
and they
hard.
had Brandon Lowe. I mean,
Wow.
Brandon. I know, dumbass.
It's okay. Joe Buck.
They had too
Joe
many
Buck
guys with the
said-
same name.
Joe Buck said Brandon Lowe when he made the All-Star team, so I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I have to ask this question, and my producer on Fox is going to kill me for telling. So we did a game in 21 after the COVID year, and you hit a home. You came up to hit, and our producer goes, "And we got this guy hitting a home run in the World Series last year, and it was Brandon Lowe, and he ran the video. And we're like, no, and we're like, that's not the same guy. And you're up there batting, and we're like, that's not Brandon Lowe. And it just happened to be you because he saw the name. He's like, oh, this guy went off in the World Series. We're like, that's the wrong. Oh, too late.
He looks taller.
Yeah, nobody talk about it. We'll just act like it didn't happen.
He looks taller, is right.
Better mustache.
Man. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they
showed some nice Lowe.
They showed Brandon Lowe going deep, like in the World Series.
Wow.
And Nathaniel Lowe comes walking up there, and we're like, "That's not the same."
There's
guy.
probably Nathaniel. There's probably some
Nathaniel
casual
Lowe
baseball
was
fan that
at the
thinks you
World
had a day.
Series.
What's up?
Nathaniel Lowe was at that World Series, but he was off the roster and in a suite eating hot dog. I think we did those like the boomstick dogs that they have in Texas.
Yeah.
We got those put in the suite for the players because we were still in the bubble, right? And we put a couple of those away. Had a good time.
I was at that World Series. I got COVID at that World Series, Game 6.
Oh, nice.
Justin Turner gave me a high five, and I got COVID.
We're about to talk about him. He just signed.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
But yeah, I was at Game 6. It was great.
I was there. It was
It
awesome.
was an awesome game.
Yeah.
And right up until they took Blake Snell out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were yelling from the suite. We were yelling from the suite, voicing our displeasure. It's so funny too, you know. I've asked Corey about that, and of course, he says the same thing everybody else in the baseball world was thinking. Like, it doesn't matter who you're facing after facing Blake Snell when he's got his A stuff and cutting him up 2 times through. You know, you could have brought in the next best thing, and it didn't matter. It wasn't Blake Snell, so it was going to swing momentum for them. But that's the move that we have to live with.
I want to know because I've always wondered this, and you were there. I know you weren't in the dugout, but okay. Let's say the Rays, you guys win you win Game 6 of that World Series. What happens in Game 7? Is it delayed? Because remember that was when everyone was scared to death of COVID, right? So then it comes out that JT pops positive for COVID. Would they have delayed the World Series like 2 weeks to make sure everybody was clear? Or would they just been like, oh wait, we're just kidding. Justin Turner didn't have COVID. We're just going to go ahead and play.
I know, right? I don't know. I like to think that maybe they would have cut everybody and just let the taxi squad get activated, and maybe like throw some coaches and clubbies in there. You know, you got number 74 versus number 62, and you're visiting clubby for the World Series title. That would have been pretty fitting.
Like the movie Replacements, like he's got a van and he's driving down the street in Arlington, like, hey, you play baseball? Yeah. Come on.
Hey, you played in high school, right? Let's go. You're a left fielder.
That's yes. Well, Nathaniel, it's great to talk to you on here for the first time. Obviously, good to learn that you're nearby, so we'll grab you next offseason. And thanks for joining us, man. Keep smiling.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for having me on.